I hope you're ready for this one. It's a roller coaster ride. Will it work? Won't it work? I'm Ingrid Carlsen, and I am so happy that you're here with me today. Today we are going to be doing some faux eco dyeing. So if this is something that you want to learn more about, then stay tuned. And if you're not already subscribed, what are you doing? Go ahead and pause this video now so you can go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified anytime I have a new video come out. Before we get started on the process of making these beautiful eco prints, I wanted to give you some really great news. I am scanning all of the papers that I have here, and I will have them for you for free. And you can use them any personal use. You just can't sell them or anything. But I thought that you would want to use these in your projects. So as my gift to you to say thank you for all of your love and your support, make sure you look right underneath the video. It's going to say like more or something. It says description and it says see more. Click on that and then it opens up the description box and the link will be there for you to download. So enjoy and let's go ahead and get started. I hope that you are as excited as I am for this project. If you know me, you know that I love anything foliage. I love flowers, I love leaves, I love green, I love all the colors. And so today we are going to be making some faux prints, eco prints, using some leaves from outside. Get ready. We don't need to boil anything. We don't need to sit and wait for anything other than some paint to dry, and that's it. I'm going to be using different types of papers. I have a tag, some book page, some hymnal paper, dictionary paper, and some vintage music paper. And so we're gonna try it out on all sorts, and then maybe I'll do a little tag or something at the end. So make sure that you stay tuned for that project. This is super simple. All we're going to do is we're going to take a leaf, and when you're looking at your leaves, you can look to see what has more texture. So if you feel the front of the leaf is going to be more flat and you're not going to have, you can feel the veins, but they're not that prominent. Whereas when you turn it around, you can definitely see it more, you can feel it more. And so it's up to you, and we can try different ways. We can do one on the front, one on the back, and we're going to see what we're going to do or what our results will be with both. I'm just going to use some watercolors. And I think for today's project, I'm going to use my Daniel Smith colors. I don't know, hang on. Yeah, I think I have them all written down. So here's my color palette that I have. I actually bought all of these pans separately from someone on Etsy. I'm not sure if she's still selling or not. If she is, I'll link her down below. But I made this color palette by, well, I won't bore you with the details, but I took every single color that Daniel Smith had out at the time, and I put them in Photoshop and then cut them out and then put them together to see which ones I wanted. So you don't have to do all that, but I will try to tell you what colors I'm going to use in case you want them. Okay, and all I did was I took a little, this is the mini mister from Ranger, but you can take any kind of spray bottle with some water. I do find that warm water works best to activate your watercolors, but I'm using just cold water because it was already in the bottle from yesterday. So let's go ahead and start with the book page. Now with the book page, I've said this before, this is a book that was, I think, gifted to me at some point. So I'm not really sure what the text is. I don't think it's good text. It might be like a murder mystery or something like that. So just, you know, be weary of that or be cognizant of that if that's what you want the words to be on your page. Now, you might not ever even see the words, and that could be okay. So I'm going to take a little bowl that I have here, and I'm going to use it for my paints. So I'm going to start off with, I think we're going to go with like the lavender color. So this is Daniel Smith's Lavender, and that's this color for me. And look how beautiful that is. Isn't that pretty? I'm going to get just a little more. So pretty. So we're going to start off with this leaf, and I think I'm going to grab a little more paint. And obviously, as much water as you put in here, it's how saturated your flower is going to be. So I have probably like a medium saturation there, and I'm just going to go through and paint the flower or the leaf. I think because of how pretty they are, I keep calling them flowers, but they're leaves. They're still beautiful. And it's amazing when you start putting the paint down, you really start to see the veining on each individual piece or petal, or I don't know what those are called, each leaf. Okay, so now we're going to just take this and flip it over. I'm just going to let it land. I'm going to grab just a paper towel, and I'm going to gently push down, firmly but gently. I don't want the leaf to move underneath. And let's see. So I definitely need more paint. And then also this paper is pretty porous. So I'm going to put that to the side, and we're going to try again, and I'm going to make it darker. So I'm going to take more paint. I'm going to make this more pigmented. And the book page might need some clear gesso. And actually, while we're doing this, I am going to grab my clear gesso. This is my favorite by Art Basics. It's linked in my Amazon storefront, if I can open it. Okay. And it looks like it's white, but it's not, it's clear. And I'm gonna grab my brush here, and I'm going to just give it a thin, quick layer. I'm not worried about where there's no text. I'm only worried about where there is text. And then I'm going to put this to the side, and we'll revisit it once it's dried. I'm going to go ahead and grab this tag and try it out with that. Just going through my, you can see them tumbling down on my desk with my leaves, and I'm going to grab this one, which is nice and big. We're going to just snip that off. And this one definitely has a lot of texture in the back, so we're going to start with that one. There we go. Now, depending on how much paint you put on here, you are going to get some pooling. So that's up to you. Like I can see right here, it's gathered. And so I know that when I lay it down, I'm going to have some of that. Look at how beautiful that is. So great. So now I'm going to take another one and kind of go off. It really picked up really nicely the detail on the bottom, which I'm kind of surprised about. So I'm going to focus the paint down here, and I'm going to have it like going off the edge. So if I do it like this and I hold it down, I can see that I'm going to need a little bit of paint. And when you are rubbing, you do not want to rub like this. You just want to pat it. You can see where I did rub it and it kind of pulled a little bit. Look how pretty that is. And I'm going to leave this one like this, but I could go in. Actually, let's do another. I know when you saw that book page, you're like, this is not going to work, Ingrid. Believe me, I was worried about it too, except I've already done this. And so I know it works. That is so pretty. And now if we wanted to, we could add, let me grab like something like this that's smaller. And I found that you can do several prints with one leaf. So I think I'm going to grab green gold. That is my it's one of my favorite colors from Daniel Smith. Now this leaf seems to be very waxy. So before I put it down there, I'm going to test it out here on this one that I had done earlier to see if it works. And you're going to have to play around with your leaves. Oops. Yeah, that one did not want to. So that leaf is not going to work. It's kind of waxy. I don't know how to describe that. So let's try, this one feels like it's not. Let's try this one. And I think the smaller leaves are going to be a little harder to do because of their detail. So you can see it did work, but it doesn't really look like a leaf per se. So we'll keep working on that. I did the front side, so let me try the back side now. I have a window that's over here facing, or I'm facing the window. And so because of the window, I can see where the paint is sticking to on the leaf, and I can see it's definitely pulling more. So, and I'm saying pooling, not pulling. And I removed it too quickly. But so with the little leaves, I think you're going to have struggle a little bit. And also it depends if they're waxy or not. So let's go ahead and keep going. Let's try it out on some book page. And I'm going to try this leaf again. Let me grab this one. So in this case, I'm actually going to use this set. It's Mei-ling from Amazon. It's one of my favorite sets. It's very affordable and it's highly pigmented, so much so that I keep it with my Daniel Smiths. But it's definitely better than, let's say, your Prima or Jane Davenport, which tend to be a little more on the chalky side. But we are going to try out the Prima because I have the pastel set and it has a really beautiful like lilac color. And in this case, I'm going straight in from the palette instead of putting it on here. So we're just experimenting. Okay. I'm thinking that like singular pressure works better. As she does it the other way. I'm telling you, Ingrid does not listen. So now I think I'm going to try the other side of the leaf. Let's see. I'll just get this one. And I'm going to use this because maybe it's too much paint. I'm just mixing it with the lavender color. I feel like when I push it down, the spots that are almost like suctioning to the paper, I feel like that I'm going to get a good pull there. So I didn't get as good a pull as I wanted to. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's see if this isn't dry yet. I'm going to go ahead and take some hymnal paper, and I have just this small piece here. So I am going to lay some gesso on it, as well as one of my dictionary pages, and we're going to see if that gives us a better result. I thought this paper would be okay because it's a little waxy, but maybe it's giving me kind of a resist and it's working opposite. Now this gesso will give it, even though it's clear and you're not going to be able to see it, it gives it like a grit. It works beautifully on the tags, so I don't know what the tags have on them that this doesn't. We had our Patreon live yesterday, and I was discussing this, and I was saying the key to art is not your brushes, not the types of paint you have, none of that. What really matters is playing and experimenting, because your paints are going to work completely different. Your papers are going to work completely different. And so really it's about the joy of experimenting and seeing what you can come up with. It's about letting go of that fear. And believe me, I have it. I have that fear where I'm like, I I can't do that. I can't do, I was talking with my friend Vivian about that, about doing handmade paper, like real handmade paper where you blend it up, and there's something about that that gives me fear, which is why I did that other faux handmade paper, because I wanted something, I want it, but I am just scared to do it. So it's about letting go of that. It's about kicking that fear to the curb and telling it that it has no room here. This is a judgment-free space where we are playing, we are experimenting, and we're just creating beautiful things. I'm gonna take half of this and cover it, and the other half I'm gonna experiment on it. It's my favorite paper, but it'll be okay if I ruin a little bit. Well, I mean, I have to now that I've talked about not being scared, so. That's kind of my whole journey with this series that we've started with the Scrap Busters, is just kind of just doing. Stop collecting and start doing. Are you in the same boat as me? Do you have more products than you actually use? That was, for the last couple years, I've been trying to get away from that, but it's really hard when you're used to doing that. So, okay, I'm gonna grab this, and I'm gonna go rinse my brush off, and then we're going to try the leaf on there. While I was cleaning off my brush, I was thinking, I wonder if other mediums work on here. I'm gonna grab some Distress Oxide, and we're gonna try that out. And I'm gonna do it kind of the same way and see if it works. So first, we're gonna work on this. So I know that I got good prints from these. So I'm gonna grab a couple of these, maybe one of these little ones. These are really nice because they have a lot of veining in the back. So maybe that's why they worked better. I'm not sure. So I'm gonna switch out my color palette here, and let's go, let's see. Actually, the blue would look good with the yellow. Actually, the blue would look good with the yellow. So, I'm gonna go back with blue, but I'm gonna do a different blue. I'm gonna go with, I think this, nope, it's this one. I don't have my little cheat sheet, my swatch. I think it's this one's my favorite. Yeah, it's like a very dark Prussian blue. I love this color. And you can tell because it's one of the ones that is most like dug into. Okay, so I'm gonna start with that. Also, I think that the quicker that you go with this, the better your results are. Okay, so this time I am putting more pressure down on the leaf, and I'm just gonna hold it. Okay. So you can definitely see it's a leaf. You can see the little veining, but it didn't give as good as impression as it did on the tag. I do have a piece of watercolor paper, so let's try that. Actually, I'm going to leave this here before I do the watercolor paper. Let's try out the oxide. So I think the way I'm going to do it, oops, is I'm going to just lay some color there. I want to clean my brush off pretty well because I don't want it to turn yellow on me. But it might because I'm using, oh, nope, it's not going to. Those are so great, the pigments on them. And maybe on the last one, I'm thinking maybe it did not have enough color. So we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to lay it down. We're going to press it down. That one's better. Also, you're not going to see it as much on this paper. And that could be part of my issue. So I'm going to put this to the side and I'm going to grab, but I'm going to tell you, here's the print that has dried and the first one that we did, and you can definitely see leaf pattern. So I think if I would have done it maybe in a darker color, you'd see more. So don't give up on it. I'm going to take my watercolor paper and just cut a piece off. And this is just Carlsen watercolor paper. This is a great option if you're brand new and you are looking for a paper. I believe I have it linked as well. It's a good quality. It's not, you know, professional grade, but it's nice. I like working with it. We're going to see how the watercolor paper reacts. I feel like it feels different underneath here. Like I can feel it more flat, if that is possible. And maybe it's because it's now my next print. Oh yeah, look how beautiful that comes out. I love it. I'm going to go in and just grab my color here. I know that I'm mixing. It's okay. When you mix colors together, it actually makes your painting more cohesive because you're using similar colors. I'm gonna go down this way with it. My hands are turning blue. It looks like I've been in the water for too long. Oops, and I forgot that that was there, so I might have gone into it a little bit. All right, let's see. Look how pretty that is. I was seriously this close to stopping the video and saying, you know what? I messed up, I'm wrong, it doesn't work. I don't know what to tell you. We're gonna try this again. I have that low leaf. So I'm just gonna try it with the colors we already have. Okay, so it's a better print, but it's definitely not a leaf shape. Like I would know it's a leaf just because I have leaves on here, but it's not that recognizable. I am going to try this one though, and we're gonna get more of that blue. I think some of it's gonna go off the edge. So I'm holding it down for about 10 seconds. Oh, look at that. That's so pretty. That is so pretty. Okay. All right, definitely. I'm gonna try this paper again. I'm gonna go in with this one since it still has some paint on it. The awesome thing about watercolor is it reactivates. So that's why you can pull several prints. I actually tried this method with some acrylic, so I am going to show you how that works. So we're going to see if my theory was right about the color being darker. Also, I wonder if you've ever used a jelly plate, sometimes the first print just doesn't work, and then you have to keep pulling, and then they keep getting better. And so maybe that's what's happening with the leaf, is that it's removing some of that wax, or I don't know. There you go. And that's regular paper with no gesso on it. So, all right, now we're cooking. We're gonna go pull this back. And I'm gonna try it again over here. I'm going to switch out the color a little bit. Oops. I'm wondering about this one because I do see it as I'm putting the paint on. I see it sticking more to the underneath than I see it sticking to the, like the veining. So we'll see. Beautiful. I think I can actually get another print. So we're gonna just pull that paper. We're gonna see, since this one's already done. Also, with something like this, so I have that ghosting and, you know, the print's not great. If I use a darker color, I'll be able to put another print on top of it. Okay, so maybe it needed more paint, but that would definitely work. So let's try it. Was this the color I was using? I think so. I'm gonna go exactly over the spot where I just was. I'm gonna kind of try to line it up. That's awesome. Put this one down here. I'm gonna have blue paint everywhere. I'm gonna look like a Smurf. Checking my papers. This one's mostly dry. It's still a little damp, but I'm gonna go ahead and try it. That's so good. Okay. I'm going to clean off my hands real quick. Try to avoid cross-contaminating. I'm going to clean this off. And this. And let's go for a different color. Let's go for like a sea foamy green color. And I think instead of using what I have on hand, I'm going to mix it. So I'm going to try to grab some blue. This is more on the teal side. Let's add a little yellow. Okay, that's gonna have to do. We're just gonna go with like a lime green. This mixture is pretty wet, so I'm curious to see what result we get. I'm gonna use this. I know I'm running out of time. The other awesome thing about this project is like this is all pretty dry. There's like a couple pieces that are still wet, but right here it's completely dry. So if you're working in an assembly line style, by the time you finish, your projects will all be dry. And that's with it being very saturated, and you saw we've already used this one to pull like, I don't know, maybe 5 or so. So I'm gonna put that to the side. Okay, I'm gonna grab my gesso paper now, and I'm gonna retire this little leaf. Let's go with like a different color scheme. Let's go with, let's see. That's kind of what I was thinking with that green, but let's go with, what if we do a browns? So I'm gonna go with this Van Dyke brown. And I'm gonna use this since it's a darker color, it's not gonna matter. So it looks like this leaf is definitely the best one. So I think it's all gonna matter on your leaf as well. So what you're going to look for when you are pulling them, you're going to look for ones that have like very exaggerated veining in the back. I also pulled I picked one of the hydrangea leaves, which don't tell my husband because he's like babying those, and I've lost it. Sure it's, oh, there it goes. So we'll be doing this one because look how nice that is. I had a feeling that that one would be good, or I have a feeling that that one will be good. Okay. So good. I'm going to try this one without the napkin and see if it makes a difference at all. So I'm going to hold it down, and then I'm also going to press it. Ooh, I think that one's better. We're going to do one more dark, and then we're going to add some colors in here. The majority of my pushing down is going to be in the middle, not so much on the edges, which is why you saw this like gathering on the edges, because it's pushing the liquid out that way. So this one definitely, it's probably done, but it, you know, I was just thinking, I wonder, okay, I'm going to do this. So it's page 125. I'm going to add some color here. Just whatever's left here. I'm going to stick it in here. I'm going to close it, and I'm going to put it underneath something heavy. And I'm just going to leave it till the end, and then we'll see. Okay, in the meantime, I'm going to grab this leaf, and we are going to, let's add some blue back. I feel like I'm just gravitating towards blue. It's so pretty. That green that we made, though, I'm going to show you when it's done because it's drying. It's in front of me, and it's gorgeous. But I think this will look really pretty with a blue. Let's see what this blue is. Something I noticed when I'm pushing down is I can really see the indentation of the veining, which is really neat. I think that blue is a little electric, but we're gonna keep building this page. What blue was it? I think it was this one. So I'm gonna mix it. Let's add some green. Ooh, that's a gorgeous color. Now this leaf doesn't have like a very sharp top. You can see it's got like a little notch out of it, which I love, but it's definitely portrayed there. Okay, I'm going to actually push it down a little less. Okay, so it definitely pulled more at the top. Let's do that. There we go, that's better. Look at this. Okay, I'm gonna put this over to the side. I'm running out of room to dry things. And we're going to grab, I keep saying pull and pull, I know are not coming across well. Let's try a unflower or unleaf-like color. Let's go with a pink. One of my favorite pinks from, actually, I wanted mostly pinks, so you can see I did get a lot of reds. I think I'm gonna go with this quinacridone lilac color. And let's see, which one was it? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna go ahead and go right on top of that blue because I think those two colors would be really pretty. This color is gonna be really pretty. It might have a little too much paint. So on this one, I'm gonna lightly pat it. Oh, darn. Because the paper is tilted up, it did that, but look how pretty that is. Okay, so I'm going to tell you, it already started bleeding, so I don't think I like the gesso. I don't know. What do you think? I'm going to try it again. Maybe not so much color. This is so much fun. I love this, like, and this color is amazing. I'm gonna add a little bit of blue to it. I haven't used my paints a lot. Which one was it? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oop, that is bright. We're gonna mix those. This is so, I really thought I wasn't gonna like the pinks and stuff because they're not normal like leaf colors. And I was wrong. And again, it goes with what I said, just play. I think that when I have too many assumptions about art, it's when I would get in trouble. Oh, I love it. Okay, I'm gonna do one more. And on this one, I'm going to focus my paint towards the bottom because it seems to want to go to the top. Like I get a lot more saturation with color up there. Oops. Did you guys see that? I accidentally messed that up. So I'm going to have a little boo-boo right there. It still didn't. So I wonder why. It must be the way I'm pushing. And I think the veining is gone on that one. So I'm going to stick this to the side. I think we've exhausted that. And let's pull this. All right, let's get our beautiful hydrangea. And I think I'm going to go in with the same color because it's so beautiful. And we're going to add some pinks here today on this one. So pretty. I kind of knew this one was going to be nice. So let's go with, let's see. Let's go with the fifth one over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is a fuchsia. Ooh. My goodness, by the time I look down and do the color, I forget what color I was using and I have to count it like every time. Let's go here. Oh, stop. This is awesome. So it's definitely going to matter the plant you use, or the leaf that you use is going to be a big, I shouldn't be mixing my paints like this, but so meaning I don't want to steer you the wrong way, but this is how I'm going to do it. But don't mess up your paints just because I'm doing it. I also think that as I'm doing it, I'm becoming more comfortable. I'm not like worried about if it's going to work out, if it's not, because enough have worked now that I know that the process works. So I will encourage you to keep going. If your first prints don't look good, just remember my words that my first ones, remember, this was my first one. It didn't look good. It looked like I had failed. These were my second ones. It looked like I had failed. So this is so wonderful. Let's go maybe a little blue. So I'm going to grab one of these. I don't remember what color it was. Oh, did you see that? Do you see how it's like spreading? I wonder, okay, we're going to try something. I wonder if I do this, like a stamp. I don't think it's giving me a good print. I'm going to not put it on this one because this one's good. I'm going to just grab just this. I don't know, it might work because it kind of left it there. That's really pretty. So if you do it like that, it's going to give you more, like you can really see like the little lines, and it's going to give more of a like more faint, but it shows it more detailed, if that makes sense. So maybe we'll do another one of those. Let's get some color in there. I don't even remember what blue we were using. I go right there. And I'm gonna add some of that quinacridone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, then the other one that I used, I don't think I ever told you, it was quinacridone fuchsia. So pretty. Okay, I'm gonna try to put all of my paint, like kind of put it towards the middle more. And here we go. We're gonna dip. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the paper, and so I can tell it's not going to be, but it's okay, just go. So cute. Okay, I feel like I had one more paper to do. I did the, maybe not. I'm going to go back and I'm going to try these again, since this one's kind of like, Yeah, you can definitely see it's like puddling. But I'm wondering if I do a whole like stretch of them, if it will work better. We'll see. No. And because it's so little, it pulled up with me. But, you know, this kind of looks like lilac or something, so I think it could work. Just not, you know, kind of what I was looking for. So let's, no. Actually, now that we've tried it, I'm going to grab the dictionary page that does not have gesso, and this will be the last one that we do. And then we'll decorate with them. Let's go with the pinks again. Oh, and here's the tag. Looks so cute. Okay, let's see. Let's see what color. What if I'm going to kind of go out of kind of off the rails a little bit. I'm going to go with an orange. This is a Pyrrole Scarlet by Daniel Smith. And I probably have a little bit of blue on my brush because of the water, and that's okay. I'm also going to grab more of that Quinacridone Lilac, which is the 4th one. I'll pull that here, and we're going to kind of mix those. I'm going to dab off. I'm going to dab off the excess of the blue that was here before. And I'm just kind of, I'm gonna just paint. So this is gonna be two-toned. Let's there we go. There's a little more orange that I was looking for. And of course, if you want your colors to be more pronounced, then you're going to want to rinse your or change your water out. I forgot that I told you I was going to show you with acrylics. So I have some Prussian blue acrylic paint, and so we'll do it with that one. Oh, look how pretty this came out. So I definitely think that's a good method of dipping into the paint itself. That one came out really good. I could see a lot of the veining. Okay, let's finish this off because we're already here. I also wonder if you added gesso to the leaf, if maybe that would help. Maybe that's an experiment for another day. But if you try it out, let me know in the comments. Also, if you've ever done this before, then let me know if you have any other tips for me. That's so good. Okay, I am going to grab some Opera Pink, which is like a really bright pink. Oh, it's not even showing up that bright there. There we go. And I'm just going to add that here. That tip doesn't want to, there we go. Okay. Oh no, I stuck my finger in it. Oh, I messed that up. Okay, let's put this over here. And then lastly, let's go ahead and do some acrylic paint. So I am curious to see if the acrylic will work better. I mean, I really liked the distress ink as well, but we'll be here all day trying these out. Let's get just a fresh piece of paper. Oh, I have this piece. I think this is the piece that had the gesso on it, the clear gesso. So let's use that. Shake this up. My paint brush is going to have water, a little bit of water in it. So I'm going to start off with a very saturated, so no, like directly paint from the whatever you call that thing, the tub, okay, I lost my words. I'm going to grab another leaf. Let's grab this one. It has a tear in it. So we're going to do two side by side, or, you know, on the same page. One that is directly straight paint, and the other one, we're going to water that paint down just a little bit, and we're going to try that out to see which. I'm almost thinking like that print came out pretty good first try. Okay, maybe the water interferes a little bit. So I'm just adding a little bit of water. Let's get a little more water. It's definitely more wet. You can even see it probably on camera that it's more shiny. So the difference is that where the water was, you can see that it's puddling a little bit, and then this line was created, whereas this one, it was, you can see the empty spaces more with this one. So I don't know, I think both look good. I did want to try out one other thing. So I'm gonna grab this one since it's still here, and I'm gonna get some gold paint, because everything's better with a little bit of gold. Type gold in the comments if you agree. I think that might have been overkill. I think I was doing good until that. I'm going to grab a little bit of tissue paper and dab off some of the excess, and then maybe go back in. So I'm going to go here. And we're going to go here. Let's add a little more. That's really pretty. So there you go. Now you know you can work with distress ink, you can work with watercolors, you can work with acrylics. I do have some stains here. Should we do one more? Let me see what color stains I have and if we can do it. Because the one I have here is linen, antique linen, and it's very light. So, okay. The first one I pulled was this peeled paint. I haven't used these in forever. Barkley's not impressed. He just like snored. He's like, can you be quiet? Please. I'm gonna grab another tag and try it here. Oh my, look at that detail. Oh, that's just wonderful. Let's do one more. That is so great. I'm going to not waste this though. Let's add a little green. I don't know why I did that so quickly. I got scared. Let's add a whole leaf. Now, when you're working with these prints, you can use the print like a background paper. You can cut out the foliage and use them as ephemera. You can use it for collage. There's so many different ways that you can use it. That's so good. Let's add another one at the bottom. That's amazing. Amazing. Okay, I'm gonna clean this up and then I'll show you all the results because they should be pretty dry, and then we'll do a little project together. The results are even better than I thought. I'm gonna I'm gonna tell you in order that I think that they came out the best. So I think this one's probably the worst print. I do like some of this, and I actually really like this. It does look like lavender to me, but I think this one, there's no shape, or this one. So I think that's like the least. The rest of these I think are phenomenal. I think came out really, really well. I mean, you can just see so much, and they're not completely dry, but they're almost dry. This is the one without gesso. This is the one with gesso. So, in my opinion, I would say skip the gesso. So here, if you remember, I stuck my finger in it, so that's why you're getting this. But in the gesso, you can definitely see that the paint spread more, which makes sense because it's gesso. And it's kind of evening out the texture of the paper, and so it's going to make it more slick. Well, it's not really slick, but it does allow the paint to move more. So I would definitely say do it without the gesso. This one I think came out so good. This is using the acrylic paints, both the blue and the gold. So pretty. I love this. I'm so glad that I didn't stay scared with this. Now, I will say with this one, it's not really, it doesn't give me the definition of the leaves. And remember, this was the leaf that didn't have like a pointed tip. It kind of went in right here, but I just love it. It kind of looks like vegetables, like kale or something, but I love this one. Then this one, this was the first one, and I was like, I honestly was going to shut the video down because I was like, this is terrible. It's not working. I love the way that this came out. I love that this is like just subtle, but you can see a little of the veining here. And then this is definitely more prominent and you can see it. And then these came out just so great. I love this green color. I think it's so pretty. I mean, this looks like just, it's so pretty. This looks very different than these, but I love the look because you have like kind of a flat wash here. So pretty. And then on the watercolor paper, this is phenomenal. I mean, this is definitely the way to go with it if you can do watercolor paper, because you can see it's made to take that medium. It's made for watercolors. And so look how beautiful it is. But I have to show you again, this is just cardstock. It's actually one of my Patreon printables, a project that we started working on. And I just did it on the back, and I just love all of these little details. It is so good. Of all of these, which were your favorite? Did you like the watercolor? Did you like the acrylics? Did you like it on watercolor paper? Did you like it with gesso, without gesso? Oh, I almost forgot the best part. The tags. I don't know what material these tags are, but look at those prints. These are phenomenal. And this was the distress stain, this one, and so good. So good, maybe my favorite. So I hope that you definitely try this project out. I'm gonna do a little tag for us just as to show you how I would use these papers. But I definitely hope that you try your hand out at this, and you know, it's gonna take away some of that. If you had any trepidation about doing eco dyeing and you're like, what does it mean, bundles and boiling and you know, all this stuff, and what do you have to add to the water and all that, it's kind of taken away with this. So, and again, the main thing is I just hope that you play and that you have fun with this. I'm going to grab just a small tag just to make a quick little project with this. And I'm going to grab some of my papers that I made with you guys using in the video. That's handmade papers. And if you haven't caught that video, I'll have it linked down below. I'm going to just cut off a little piece of this. I love this edge, so I don't think I'm going to use it right now. I'm going to leave this edge as well. Take some of this extra. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to distress it as well so that it gives it a little more, I guess some more texture, as well as so it's not so flat. I'm going to take it and I'm going to just lightly sand like the edges. Try not to get my fingernails in there. And then I'm going to take my scissors. I'm also going to come down with the scissors and I'm just going to like slice into it. Sorry if that noise bothers you. So we're just distressing this just a little. So we're going to take that and I'm going to grab, I'm going to grab a botanical. Actually, what I'm going to grab is, I'm going to look for some Tim Holtz pieces because I think that the color combo kind of just lends itself. I like this little specimen card. I want something with some text in the back. This one might work. Ooh, this might work. I think it's too small. Okay, let's get something a little bigger. This is probably good. I might not use the whole piece, but I'll go ahead and pull it. And then I'm going to pull, maybe I'm going to pull one of these little bugs. I always stay away from bugs and bug related things. I do not like bugs. And as a matter of fact, when I was pulling the crepe myrtle, I noticed that there was a lot of like little spiders in the crepe myrtles, which, and so then when I pulled, I was going to grab the flowers and they all like came sprinkling down on me, but it creeped me out. I like ran in the house like, nope, not today. Oh, actually, this little boy's hilarious. Maybe I'll do this guy. But anyways, I was saying about the flowers, I have been thinking about, I've been outside a lot more this year and just like really kind of like looking into nature and stuff with like all the projects that we've done. Hold on one sec, I just dropped everything. Okay, with all the projects that we've done. And so I think I want to do a bug project soon. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to go ahead and just fold this in almost half. And I am going to distress the edges a little. Oops. You don't have to use the whole piece since we are I like him on that side. And I like that, but I'm going to take some black paint and I'm just gonna grab a brush, and I'm also going to grab some distress stain. I have no idea where my distress stains are. I'm sure they're underneath the pile of stuff on my desk. So, you know, I've told you about this before and I did not have it, but I was saying that you could use bronzer from Dollar Tree. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna take the tag And I'm just going to take one of the makeup brushes. Ooh. That was probably too much. Who's saying you think? That was more pigmented than I remembered. So I'm gonna wipe off some of the excess over on another sheet of paper. I do want to, let me get rid of, actually, let's get the specimen card a little grunged up. Okay, and then I'm going to just shake that off. Okay, and that way I can burnish this in. Now I'm going to take my brush and my black paint, and we're just going to dip into the lid like just whatever we have there. And I'm just going to go along the edge. I don't remember, I'm going to have this here, so I might not even see some of it. So I'm just going to go ahead and just like pick some parts, some points. I'm going to do the same thing here. Probably I'm going to go a little less into it, so my lines are going to be a little thinner. Okay. I'm going to do the same with my specimen card. I don't know if this will matter if I go around him. Not really, so just gonna leave that. I am going to go around my little bug just a little. Actually, you know what would be cool if I use some gold paint around on my bug. So let's close this. This is one of my favorite gold paints, if I've never told you before. It's from Target. It's the metal acrylic paint, and the brand is called Handmade Modern. It's just really good. These paints were all really good. They're like a very thick bodied. And I do want to go on this one, I want to go a little more aggressive at the edges. Because of the way I'm holding it and where the camera is, I cannot see exactly where it's going. So I might go in afterwards and add a little extra. I'm going to try not to get any on top, but cannot promise anything. That just gave it a cuteness factor. Now I like that little bug. Maybe I will add some gold to him as well. Let me, I'm just gonna grab paper and wipe the edge where I put the black ink. And I'm not gonna be as calculated with him. I'm just gonna put it just in like little different spots. No real thought process behind it, just adding some gold. Oops, he fell on my bug. Okay. I'm gonna give this just a minute to dry off, and then we will continue. pretty much dry, so let's go ahead and go back. I'm going to start layering. I'm trying to decide if I'd rather his little feet, so it looks kind of like he's sitting on the specimen card. Maybe we'll do that. I don't think that works. Okay, let's try that again. I think I like that the best. So I'm going to take my stapler and I'm going to staple. I'm going to try to staple all the pieces together, but oh no, there's no staples. Okay, plan B. Since I already have these in my hand, we're going to go ahead and glue. He's so dapper. He looks like he's just like chilling. I think what this needs is some stitching. So let's go stitch around it. I also feel like it might need something else in the background. Like this is a little too stark. So, you know, I always have pieces of music paper laying around. This might work. So I like this. What I don't love is that I'm going to cover up this little brown tab, which I love. So I think what I'm going to do, let's see if this works. I'm going to try to just hold that in place and then cut around. And then we're going to I'm going to punch a hole where the hole should go. So I'm going to take my pencil and I wish I could see through it. Okay, I think I can kind of see through it. So what I'm going to do is I'm holding it up like this so I have a light source in front of me. This isn't going to be perfect, but it kind of gives me an idea of where everything is. So I'm going to cut out, oh, actually I didn't even need that part. I'm going to cut this out and see how it works. I might need to cut further, but we'll see in just a sec. That's pretty good. I will distress this a little though, so that it doesn't look so like I cut it out. I want it to look a little more organic, like it was like ripped. And some of the black is still poking through, so I love that. That is much better. And I'm going to go ahead and I think I have some brown thread already in the sewing machine. So I'm going to go ahead and sew that. I also am thinking, I think I'm going to add a slit right here. So it looks like it's torn. I'm going to kind of fold over the edge a little bit so that there's a tiny gap. And I'm going to grab some of this tape. This tape, I get asked about this tape a lot, and I actually got it at Daiso, which is if you don't know, a Japanese kind of Dollar Tree. Everything's like, or almost everything is, that's too thin, $1.75. But I found some on Amazon that looked similar, so I have it listed in my storefront if you're looking for some. And maybe I'll add a little bit right here so it looks like it's holding up the specimen. Like that was taped in. Okay, so let's go ahead and sew our edges. Okay, now we have the edges all sewn up, and I added some zigzag here, and then I have a lot of tails, which I really like. I think it adds to the grunginess. And the last thing I'm going to do is add some of this trim. Just going to distress the edges a little. Okay, and I think we are done. I hope that you enjoyed the process video as well as the process to making the eco dyed papers. I hope that you try it, and if you do, I would love it if you tag me in Instagram and I'll share you in my stories. So and if you don't want me to share it, just let me know, and that's okay too. I would love to still see it. So anyways, I thank you so much for being here. I am so grateful for each and every one of you, and that you have taken the time out of your day to spend it with me. And I'm just so grateful for that. So thank you so much. I want you to know today, if you haven't been told, you are loved, you are precious, you are wonderful, you are beautiful, and you are so special. And you are so loved. So loved. Until next time, love you. Bye.